Microphone test. Test. Test 1, 2, 3.
Good evening. The time is now 7 o'clock. The Wayzata Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting for May 12th, 2025 will please come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Heidi Cater.
Here.
Sheila Pryor, here. Sarah Johansson.
Here.
Paris Bende is absent. Valentina Ayers.
Here.
Dan Ginestra.
Here.
Milan Sahoni.
Present.
Chase Anderson.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if you want to speak during the audience opportunity to address the board, please fill out a form placed at the back of the room and hand it over to our district administrative assistant, Amy, sitting to my right. The first item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the agenda and the consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are considered routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or a citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed as a consent agenda item and addressed. The consent agenda items are listed in the materials. The recommended action is to approve the agenda and the consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
I move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Heidi Cater.
Yes.
Valentina Ayers.
Yes.
Dan Ginestra.
Yes.
Sarah Johansson.
Yes.
Paris Bende is absent. Sheila Pryor, yes. Milan Sahoni.
Yes, we have an agenda. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is reports from organizations, and I would like to invite Peyton Moidel. Is she here? Yes. Student Council Vice President from Wayzata High School to please come forward. Welcome, Peyton.
Good evening, everyone. I hope this last stretch of the school year is treating you well. I mean, I know you guys have to work all summer long, but seniors are almost free. We have 3 more weeks until graduation, and I speak on behalf of my senior class. We are really excited to be done, and especially with our economics projects. Those are not fun. So to continue that tangent, with the graduating seniors, on May 1st, the high school had held our annual but quite informal Decisions Day. While our seniors had our last ever counselor seminar, everyone wore merchandise to represent what after high school means to them. Similarly, May 5th was the Senior Awards Night, a formal celebration for the hard commitment of worthy recipients of the senior class. And likewise, the Volunteer Club held an award ceremony honoring hundreds of presidential award winners. On May 29th, seniors will participate in the Senior Elementary Graduation Walk at their previously attended elementary schools. The day starts on May 29th with a senior bridge walk and ends with the senior sunset, a send-off to the 2025 class. So currently, Student Council Senate elections are wrapping up with the final voting count ending this evening. We've had a large participation from the sophomore class in this running, making the future of our organization quite unknown to us. In the theater department, rehearsals for the spring playgrounds, a student-written and directed showcase, is in progress. On the weekend of May 3rd, so a couple of weeks ago, the department held their spring play, Space Girl, which was an engaging and very quirky show. Lastly, as the school year is winding down, clubs have begun preparation for next year, enlisting a new set of seniors for their executive roles. I've seen a lot of, PR from BPA and HOSA on their voting process and their new presidents and vice presidents and so on. And then clubs and sports are cultivating a new experience for the future and really reflecting on this past year and the experience of their students. And I think tonight's my last ever, what is this called, speech? So it has been such a pleasure being able to attend these meetings and to report to you guys on behalf of the high school student body. Thank you very much, and I will really miss these monthly occurrences. So thank you.
Thank you, Peyton. Anyone have any comments, questions for Peyton? Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming each week or each month, right? It takes a lot. And can you share? We wish you well next year. What will you be doing?
I'm going to the University of Twin Cities, and I'm majoring in neuroscience.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your contributions.
Yeah.
Peyton, it's been wonderful to have you here every month, as Sarah said. And I just want to say you've been so thorough and have really given us a picture of what's going on at the high school. And that's really important for us to be able to know how our students are doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Luck with everything you do.
Well, thank you so much, Peyton. It's been a joy having you here these past several months, hearing from you what all is going on at the high school. We appreciate it, and it informs the work we do in a lot of ways. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
Oh, Sheila.
I just wanted to wish you well also. We will miss you, and we'll miss you on the mountain bike team, and we'll miss seeing you every month.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you and best wishes.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the effort you've put in to be here regularly and to give us all those updates. So thank you and best wishes.
Thanks.
May you have not so many obstacles in your life. There are going to be some, but they shouldn't be that big. And I think that you can do very well. So I wish you to succeed, to be bigger. And I liked your jokes, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peyton. I wish you, not just you, but all your student bodies moving on to their the next phase of their lives. Good luck in whatever you do. So thank you so much for coming. And we'll see somebody else in that chair, right, next year?
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you so
excited to pass on the torch.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is the recognitions, and Director Ayers will join Dr. Anderson at the podium this evening.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our school board meeting tonight. My name is Chase Anderson. I'm the superintendent for the school district, and it's always my honor to convene the recognitions portion of the school board meeting, which we hold at the beginning of the meeting, as you can see. And it's always fun for us to recognize staff, students, and all the important contributions and recognitions that have come their way. So I'm excited tonight to introduce our first recognition. And I'm glad to see that he's in the room, just sprinting in from an athletic event, I'm sure. I'd like to invite Chris Tyne to please come forward. And we'll welcome him forward with a round of applause, and then I'll tell you what he's being recognized for. Very impressive. Thanks for bringing that beautiful artifact in here. And I'd like to share the following about Wayzata High School athletic trainer Chris Tyne, who was named to the Fred Zamberletti Award for this year. And that's a big deal. That's really a great award and a great honor. I would like to just share a little bit about that and then give Chris an opportunity to come to the mic as well and offer a few words to the group here tonight. And I'd share the following. The Minnesota chapter of the National Football Foundation is excited to announce that Wayzata High School athletic trainer Chris Tyne has been named this year's recipient of the Fred Zamberletti Award. Tyne will be recognized during this summer's Minnesota Football Honors television show. Chris has helped countless athletes achieve their optimal performance, recover, and get back on the field safely. His attention to detail and passion for serving student athletes shines across the local community, said Todd Foltz, president of the Minnesota chapter of the National Football Foundation. We are very excited to honor Chris during the Minnesota Football Honors television show. Chris Tyne is a licensed athletic trainer and nationally registered emergency medical technician in Twin Cities Orthopedics. He has served as the athletic trainer for the Wayzata High School for the past 26 years. Tyne is also a certified American Red Cross and American Heart Association Basic Life Supporter for mHealth Fairview Emergency Response Training. The Fred Zamberletti Award honors the late Fred Zamberletti, the Minnesota Vikings' first head athletic trainer. While working for the organization, Zamberletti became an athletic training pioneer. After his long career as the Vikings' head athletic trainer, he was named the team's coordinator for medical services and senior consultant team historian. Chris, I can comment from all of the different athletic events that I've been to. I don't know how you literally are in 3 or 4 places at the same time, but I'm pretty convinced if I go to a home game and then a road game, I'll see you in both places. He's amazing. He's at everything and has provided wonderful service to all of our student athletes here at Wayzata High School. So at this time, I'll welcome you to the podium to share a few thoughts if you'd like. Or over there, yeah.
Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was actually kind of a surprise. We just go about it as athletic trainers. We just kind of go about our own business and do what we need to do and take care of it. For us, it's all about the athlete. I mean, we put a lot of hours in travel, for one thing, going to various places, including various states. I remember going to Menominee, Michigan one year with football, down to Iowa one year, just lots of traveling along with taking care of the athletes. And that is the primary thing, the athletic trainer is we take care of these athletes. Okay, we assess, we treat, and we send them on if they need to go to a physician of some sort. But that is our deal. These athletes are our number one focus at this point. And it's been quite a ride. It's been tons of fun. And Wayzata, I have to say, it's the best district in the state. I would argue it's the best district in the upper Midwest, and I would even argue in the nation as far as this point. And we have been the best athletic program the last couple of years. This year might be kind of tough, but we're nationally known. And Wayzata is, I just said this to one of the kids today, Wayzata, we're big time. And that's what we are, and that's what I try to do is do the best I can. Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thanks, Chris. Thanks again, Chris, and keep up the great work. Our next recognition is for our Wayzata High School Scholastic Arts Awards. And I think we have Dane Hodges here this evening to introduce the student recipients. So I would invite Dane to please come forward, and also any students who are here to be recognized for this evening. Come on down. Don't be shy. We'll bring you up here so you can't escape the podium. Someone needs to be ready to make some comments here soon. Thanks for coming tonight on this beautiful night. I'd like to share the following, and then I'll turn it over to Dane to share a little bit and introduce those who are here with him this evening and those who were unable to attend as well. The Scholastic Arts Awards is the nation's longest-running, most prestigious recognition program for creative teens. The Scholastic Art Awards are open to all art students age 13 or older in grades 7 through 12, from public, private, and home schools and community programs serving eligible student populations. By participating in the Scholastic Arts Awards, students receive opportunities for recognition, digital exhibition, and scholarships. This year, Wayzata High School had several students enter their artwork, and many received recognition for their efforts and talents. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Dane to share a little bit more and introduce those who are here this evening.
Thank you so much. We have 2 people here today. Wayzata received 42 awards from this year's Scholastic Art Awards. They take several thousand submissions, whittle it down to several hundred, and then they're rewarded a gold key, a silver key, or honorable mention. 6 of our students received gold keys, which was great. Maggie Lumen here, had the pleasure of working with her for 2 terms this year. Entered 3 of our artworks, all 3 of them won awards, including a cool picnic box that won the gold key. Olivia Schiller, she's been on my ride for the last 2 years. Last year was my first year here at Wayzata, so she was in my Drawing 2 class. So she won a gold key for a drawing that she did there, and then she won a gold key for a ceramic sculpture that she made in my Ceramics 1 class this year. Not with us today, just not present here, are Raya Centil, Kingdon Bondi, Ruby Rolfe, and Cara Bolinino, who all won gold keys as well. On top of the 6 gold keys, there were 36 other awards, including 12 silver and 24 honorable mentions. So, great job, kiddos. Proud of you.
Our next recipients of recognitions this evening are for 2 Employees of the Month from Gleason Lake Elementary School. And I'd like to invite Corey Riley and Annie Stokes to please come forward. First, congratulations. Thanks for being here. It looks like you have a nice cheering crowd here tonight, so glad that they joined you for this beautiful evening here tonight. And I'd like to share the following on behalf of the 2 Gleason Lake Employee of the Month recipients. Corey has been with the district for the past 7 years, during which she has served as a special education teacher at both Wayzata West Middle School and Gleason Lake. Annie has been our behavior support paraprofessional for the past 6.5 years, following 3 years in other paraprofessional roles. Both Corey and Annie bring exceptional dedication, compassion, expertise, and care to their work, enriching our school community in numerous ways. Corey is a compassionate educator who creates an inclusive, supportive environment where all students can thrive. She adapts lessons to meet diverse needs, ensuring that every student receives a high-quality education in a safe and welcoming space. Her colleagues shared the following. Corey's collaboration with her special education teammates and paraprofessionals has been vital in building strong, supportive learning environments. She provides ongoing guidance and training to paraprofessionals, helping them effectively implement instructional strategies. This teamwork fosters personalized support, allowing students to thrive both academically and socially. Annie is known for her dependability, flexibility, and calm demeanor. She responds to student support walkies calls throughout the day, always with patience and a problem-solving mindset. Annie consistently goes above and beyond to meet the needs of our school. Here's what staff members had to say. Annie is someone we can all count on, steady, reliable, and always ready to lend a listening ear. Her calm presence makes even the busiest days more manageable, and her quiet leadership brings out the best in all of us. Annie exemplifies what it means to be a team player. Her kindness, thoughtfulness, and consistency make our school a better place. Corey and Annie have played key roles in supporting our students' growth, development, and confidence. We deeply appreciate their positive energy, influential leadership, and steadfast dedication to the success and well-being of our entire community. Congratulations to both of you for this very well-deserved award as the Employee of the Month. And at this time, I'll invite you both to come forward and share a few thoughts if you would like to.
Hi, Hi. I'm so honored to be recognized as Employee of the Month alongside Annie. It's truly an honor to share this moment with such a dedicated and inspiring colleague. At Gleason Lake, I'm constantly reminded how fortunate I am to work with such supportive and passionate colleagues that could all be up here right now. Every day I see the hard work, creativity, and heart that each of our teachers and staff bring to our students. It's that collective energy and commitment that makes Gleason Lake such an amazing place to teach and watch our students grow. I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of this team and district and to receive this honor. Thank you.
Thank you. It also is an honor to be receiving this award and be selected alongside Corey, who's a spectacular educator. Gleason Lake is a great school to work at. It's fun and it's full of supportive staff, any of whom could be up here being recognized for their work and dedication to their students every single day. It's meaningful to be part of a team that makes a difference in the lives of our students in our schools daily. I'm proud to help support the Gleason Lake community, and as a parent of a graduating senior, class of 2025 right here at Wayzata, who started in the district in ECFE at Peppermint Fence Preschool, it has been a blessing to both live and work in the Wayzata School District. Thank you.
And our final recognition this evening is, it's been a tradition every month to read the names of the individuals who have announced their intent to retire since the last board meeting that we had. And we have 3 on our list tonight. Ron Tudal, custodian at the high school, who served 26 years. Gwen Rasmussen, teacher at Birchview, who served 20 years. And Penny Blankenship, community ed, registration and finance specialist, who served for 16 years. And I didn't spot any of these folks in our crowd tonight. If I missed you, come on down or forever hold your peace. We'll give them a round of applause anyway. I'm sure they're on YouTube. We thank them for their years of service, and their legacy will live on through continued growth and development of our students and enhancement of all the programs that they were part of. So thanks to all those individuals. That concludes our recognitions portion of the meeting. And at this point, I'll turn it back over to our board chair, Millen Sahoni. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations to the honorees, and thank you, Dr. Anderson and Director Ayers. Okay, we are now at item number 6, the highlight of our regular meetings, the school spotlight presentation. At every board meeting, one of our 13 schools presents to the board the work they have been doing. Tonight, we are joined by Gleason Lake Elementary. And I'll turn it over to our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning, Dana Miller.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair, Dr. Anderson, members of the board. It is always my pleasure to stand here on these evenings and introduce and share our schools that we're very proud of. And tonight, we're pleased to welcome the team from Gleason Lake. They're here to share their work that they've been doing towards their school growth plan and the efforts they've made to realize those goals that also align with our district goals and mission as well. Principal Mary Mackesy is here with her staff, and I believe we have some students here as well. And they're going to share with us tonight the way they've been building thinking classrooms and some of the work that they've been doing to maybe approach learning in that Tier 1 instruction for all in a new approach to that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Principal Mackesy, and I'm excited to hear what they have for us tonight. Thank you.
Board members, Superintendent Anderson, and community members, it's a pleasure for Gleason Lake to be here this evening and to share with you our school spotlight. Our strategic directions guide our work, and our evening's presentation will focus on number one, to ensure a high-quality daily experience for each and every student, and number two, to deliver high-quality instruction that leads to high academic achievement for all of our students. And here with me this evening, I am proud to have some members of Gleason Lake to share our story with all of you. First, Lakshmi is a fourth grade teacher, and she has spent the year refining and reflecting her instructional practices related to student learning. We also have several students from her class who will introduce themselves as they share about their school experience within her classroom. Sarah Winans is a district resource teacher in the area of science and mathematics, and she has been instrumental in bringing forward the model called Building Thinking Classrooms, and we'll learn more about that this evening too. Emily Lewis is our family partnership lead, and one of her main goals is to co-teach, plan lessons, and find ways in which all students can experience success. Part of our site goal plan is the different information that we are going to share this evening, and we have two goals. One is around student achievement, and the other one is around our student experience. And when we think about our student achievement, we are looking at how can we increase our students that have typical and aggressive growth based on our FAST scores from fall to spring, and we're in the process of doing that right now. In addition to that, each of our grade level teams write a professional learning goal that is related to literacy, which also aligns with our FAST testing. Our student experience goal that we are working on this year is to have our students increase by saying we have discussions where everyone can share their thoughts and learn from one another. We realize that one of the most important things is how do we develop that social emotional learning that comes with interacting, collaborating, and having students share their learning with one another. When we think about tonight's purpose, it's to discover how our students make their learning visible and that they can learn from one another, understand the critical role of Tier 1 instruction and how that improves student success, and how we learn effectively and utilize our resources to support all of our students' learning.
Thanks, Mary. One cognitive protocol that we often use in math is called I notice, I wonder, and so I would invite you to take a moment and notice and wonder what you see in these images on the screen. I would challenge you to see if you can think of 10. Hopefully you notice that you do not see a teacher in any of the images. As Mary shared, one of our purposes today is to highlight the ways that students share their thinking, build on one another's thinking, and learn from each other. One resource that has supported Gleason Lake's efforts to support student voice in math is a book called Building Thinking Classrooms. The book includes micro moves that teachers can make during lessons to ensure that students are doing rigorous thinking about complex math problems and working collaboratively to discuss and solve them. Lakshmi and I have partnered in this work, and she has been such an excellent teacher leader in sharing this learning with her colleagues by opening practice in her classroom and then also helping to co-facilitate some professional learning for teachers.
Thank you, Sarah. All right. Last year in summer, I took a training for Building Thinking Classroom, and there are several components to this thinking classroom, and we'll look at few components that we have used in the classroom and all year. And although this training suggests this is only for math, we have had a happiness of trying this across various subjects that students have experienced. And the primary component of thinking classroom is to have engaging tasks for students that enable them to think and infer their own learning. Like Peter quotes in his book, if we are thinking, we're engaged. If we are engaged, we are thinking. So how does a thinking classroom work, and how is it different from the traditional classroom setup? A traditional classroom setup works like the teacher does, and then the class does, and the student does, like kind of the I do, we do, and you do. But the thinking classroom starts and leads the student to first try, and then they work in pairs, and then the teacher does, and then they try it out in pairs or groups, and then the student kind of reflects on it. The thinking classroom approach is you do, we do, I do, we do, and then you do, with the goal that learning should be student-directed whenever and wherever possible. This framework encourages students to explore first. It welcomes teamwork. It creates an environment where failing is considered normal for learning. Students make meaning with each other. And the process also has self-evaluation and reflection embedded with a lot of social learning that happens along with it. We're looking at two components just to kind of get a sample of how a thinking classroom works. One of the components that we use in our classroom is visibly random grouping. And in this process, the students are put in visible random groups, like having random groups every day benefits the students to work, learn with different people, hear their ideas and perspectives. It also helps break the social barrier. There's a lot of embedded social emotional learning that comes with it. And how do we randomly form groups? We use cards, where students select the cards and make their own team. Sometimes we use electronic sources like Picker Wheel or Classroom Dojo to make their own teams. Another component, kind of like the picture, you might have seen that the students are standing and making their own learning. We call this the vertical non-permanent surfaces. And in this part, students are standing and thinking, and they are talking with each other. They are working as a team for several aspects of this learning. They share their thinking in a common wipe book surface. Because they're standing, it's making it harder for them to be anonymous. It helps the students to move quickly to tasks. It also increases knowledge mobility. And this year in Gleason Lake, many teachers collaborated with our family partnership lead, Emily Lewis, to work on including as many thinking components and non-permanent surfaces in their classroom.
As the family partnership lead, in addition to building a bridge from home and school for families, get the amazing opportunity to partner with teachers on exploring protocols and strategies that allow students to meet their learning needs and therefore engage more fully in their learning. These learning needs stem from their ways of being that students come to school with based on the lives they have lived outside of school or their culture. The definition commonly used by Wayzata Public Schools for culture is on the screen. Culture is the abstract, learned shared rules and standards for generating behavior and understanding experience. Culture is each person's unique way of life, and we all have culture based on our own lived experiences and social structures that we have engaged in. The iceberg image is something that Wayzata Public Schools use to understand the complexities of culture. At the surface of the iceberg are components of culture we can visibly see, like the food we enjoy, the clothing we wear, or the traditions we may choose to participate in. Yet underneath the surface, there are many aspects of culture that we can't visibly see or assume about an individual, such as the importance of space, the importance of time, or learning needs or learning behaviors. So culturally responsive protocols are strategies that allow teachers to honor cultural behaviors in order to best engage all students. These are just some examples of protocols, and it kind of shows how they honor these different cultural behaviors and learning styles. For example, some protocols will build in more student-to-student talk and allow students to learn by processing verbally with other students, which aligns very much with a lot of the work in building thinking classrooms that Lakshmi described. Other protocols will honor students who need more independent think time and prefer to learn more autonomously. And the hope is that we can balance those needs within the classroom through the protocols. Independent versus social learning is just one cultural behavior among many that the culturally responsive protocols can support through Tier 1 instruction to increase student engagement. The protocols used in a thinking classroom, which Lakshmi spoke about, also align very much to this work. And over the course of this year, we've been able to partner and learn a lot from each other on many different protocols and strategies to best support student engagement. So we have some students here that would like to tell you about some of these protocols and how they have helped them engage in their learning.
Hi, my name's Marissa. We use Walk and Learn at the beginning of a class period to review or remember information that we previously learned. For example, we use this protocol and we make 2 laps around the room with the partner and share what we know about prefixes, suffixes, or other topics or usually vocabulary words. The benefit is I get to learn from other students, and moving helps my brain focus and function better.
Hi, my name is Arvon. We use Stand Up, Hand Up, Pair Up before we learn new information. This gives us a chance to engage with a partner before we share what we know about a topic or question. For example, we shared what we knew about the Navajo code before reading. The benefits are I get to interact with others and help me be more engaged in the lesson, and I may learn information or a classmate's opinion of a topic.
Hi, my name's Rowan. We use Walk and Learn. We use Gallery Walk a lot in math. At the start of math class, we do white books, which is where Ms. Lakshmi gives us a math problem to solve. And think about, after solving the problem, we find a partner to walk around the room and look at people's white books. The benefits of this is we get to see what our classmates are thinking and their progress of learning.
Hi, my name is Aaron. We use envelope questions when we're reviewing a subject. For example, in math, if we are having a test soon, we'll review our skills and we'll do it in groups. There's usually a question related to a topic we have learned, and the question is outside the envelope. We will write our answer on a piece of paper and put it in the envelope. The benefits of envelope answers are I am working with another person, and I get to see what other people are thinking and compare my answers with others. This helps me better understand the topic.
Well, as our presentation comes to a close, we're going to do a quick protocol with the board so you can participate if you'd like. This is called wraparound. We oftentimes do this at the end of a professional learning with adults, and we may ask something like this, or with students. Think of one word that might summarize your learning this evening, or just share a message that you may want to. And we'll just go around, you can take a turn. And when we think about this, and we think about the movement orientation, it's stationary because everyone is sitting. The conversational pattern is linear, and also it's spontaneous because you're just reacting to something that you heard. So if anybody would want to start, you can share a word or a phrase that you're going to take away.
I'll start. Collaborative.
I like the concept of the visibly random groups, and to me, it gave the perception of the belonging that we all talk about all the time.
I appreciate the emphasis on movement.
And along with that, I would say the variety of ways of engagement and different strategies for learning.
I was also going to say engaging for each and every that builds on strengths.
I actually appreciate that this allows also you to work on your own and take your pace if you are feeling comfortable. Allows you not to be just only with group, but at the same time have your individual thoughts, time to put your individual thoughts together.
I guess I'm last. Part of learning is that it's okay to make errors. That's how you learn.
Well, thank you for having us here this evening. It was a joy to be here. And thank you to our fourth graders and the teachers at Gleason Lake.
Thank you, Principal McCassie. Board members, any questions or comments for any of them?
Mr. Thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to have students join us to really inform us on the work you guys do and tell us about their own experiences and how they learn best. We know every student's different. We know every student learns differently. So if you can diversify that curriculum, it I think goes a long way to ensure student success. I'm excited for the future of this work that integrates groups as well as a lot of movement. So thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to hearing more from Gleason Lake. Thanks so much.
I just want to say, students, thank you for sharing a beautiful summer evening with us. It was great to see you. And the thing that I loved hearing was when someone said, I move around and that helps my body to learn better. And so much about learning is body, mind, and spirit. And you did a great job of teaching us how, as students, you show up with your whole selves and learn a lot. So thanks for showing us how that's done. And cool teachers, you took a math lesson and then they were telling us stories about language arts and other, right? A math text. It really shows, I think, the integrated and braided part of our learning. That's just fantastic. So thank you.
Go ahead.
To me, a big sign is that you were very comfortable approaching microphone. It takes quite a bit courage to approach. You felt very comfortable, so that is a very good sign.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. First of all, students, thanks for coming tonight. You guys are always the way that you presented was really amazing. You were super articulate. You were so brave. So thank you for coming tonight. Okay, so my questions, I have two questions. One on the thinking classroom. When I'm looking at it starts with the we do and you go through a process. Tell me what the benefits are. Do you feel like it's efficient learning? Do you feel like it's deeper learning? Tell me more about that.
Thank you. That's an excellent question. With the I do process, we usually start with students exploring one thinking question. It's usually a question that starts out like in a lower floor and has a high ceiling, like you can stretch the thinking as much as the students need it to. And it's very approachable for any students at any level that they're starting. It's very differentiating. They start with a thinking problem, and then I give them a little bit more tasks for them to explore with as a team. And then I do the lesson. And if the lesson requires me to teach a certain practice, then I would model the practice, and then they get to experience that with the partner. And then they kind of like wrap it up with the reflection of them writing like math notes or like practicing in a worksheet. The benefit that I see that is that they start out with a thinking problem is kind of like a warm-up for their brain. And sometimes these thinking problems are far more engaging for them. It's very interesting, gets them excited about math, makes them realize that math is not a complicated subject, but it's exciting and interesting. And everybody can approach math whatever level we are at. And again, this is not just was used in math, and I see the benefit that it's used across different subjects where the students take the leadership of their learning, makes them understand that it's their learning, and I'm there to facilitate that part of the student leadership. So.
Thank you for giving me that picture. I have one more question. You used a term, somebody used a term that was called knowledge mobility. What is that?
I use the term called knowledge mobility there. Again, like the knowledge is not just like you holding on to it, it is shared across the classroom. They are teaching each other. And so they are learning strategies from each other. So I might approach a problem, or Marissa might approach a problem in a certain way, and R1 might do it in a completely different way. And they are sharing with each other and they're talking with each other. So, like I always say in the classroom, if I don't know how to go to my home in multiple ways and one way is blocked, how do I go to a different way? So, if I block that strategy in math, can your brain enable it in a different way? Can you figure out a different way? So, they're teaching each other and they are connecting with each other that way to see that there's a variety of ways to do a problem. Yep. And so, knowledge shared there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really love that that the learning is collaborative, like I said, and I love that the conversations that you are having as students are about the learning. I think that's really, really impressive that you are able to have academic conversations. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Okay. Just one comment. I want to echo Valentina's comment about how confident these children are. And I believe that confidence comes from the classroom, from the teachers making them confident. And otherwise it's kind of difficult, but I appreciate the confidence that you have given to these children. I have 3 questions actually. If you go back to slide 3, Amy, if you can. Okay, so in that achievement goal, help me understand this. I don't understand what the typical growth and aggressive growth is. Do those 2 cover the entire class, or is there a 3rd or a 4th category of goals?
The FastBridge test has 4 different growth areas. It could be flat growth, modest growth, typical growth, or aggressive growth. So based on the norming of how the test is, we're always trying to look for getting typical growth or aggressive growth. And that is based on the where they enter in the fall, and then the growth they make throughout the year is how it's measured.
So what happens to the other 2 areas, the children that are in those 2 other areas that are not typical or aggressive growth?
So it's just as if when we look at their scores, we may have some students that may have stayed somewhat the same based on that test, but that's what we're always trying to increase in and go on, is getting students to at least make typical to aggressive growth.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then you don't have to open this slide 6, but the thinking classroom, are all children involved in that, or are there specific children, groups of categories of children in that classroom?
I can take that. This is for the whole classroom.
Whole classroom, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And the last question, maybe I don't understand what vertical non-permanent surfaces mean versus, is there a horizontal non-permanent surface?
If we can go back to the picture. So you can see that those white book surfaces, they are standing and working. That's what we are calling them as vertical non-permanent. So it's just like we can remove it, we can erase it, it's reusable. There's a whole lot of research about how standing and learning keeps the brain more engaged. Right? When we are sitting down, we are more relaxed and the brain is not more active. So it's like standing and learning. So the vertical is like referring to how they are standing, and the surface is the white book surface that we are reusing, and it's not permanently written, it can be reused more.
So there is no such thing as horizontal non-permanent surface, right?
Well, as long as they are moving, the
right,
brain,
right.
you can have it horizontal too, yes.
So it's like a standing desk or a treadmill that adults used when they're working, right?
Exactly, yes, yes.
That's all the questions I have. So anybody else have any questions? Thank you so much, everybody. One more time, round of applause. Okay, we have next is the audience opportunity to address the board. I believe we have some. Thank you. Okay, we have 2 of them today. And this section of the agenda provides an opportunity for members of the community to address the school board. Speakers who wish to provide input to the school board must complete the sign-up sheet and return it to our administrative assistant, Amy. Please note that you will need to complete a request form to be included on the speaker request list. When you are invited to the podium, please identify the subject and/or agenda items to which your comments pertain. Priority will be given to students and families with students currently enrolled in our district. The school board practice is not to engage in a discussion or debate with the speaker, but rather allow the speaker time to express their thoughts. Please present your comments in a respectful and professional manner. This evening, each speaker will be invited to the podium to speak for 3 minutes. And we have 2 speakers that have requested to speak. Amy will help us keep track, and I think it is Sheila, actually. Sheila is going to keep track of your time, and we'll hold up a red card at the 3-minute mark. Please end your comments when you see the red card. First, are there any students who would like to speak? Is there any student in this group, in this too? No? All right, so I'm going to call on Chris. Sorry, Bisand? I got it, thank you. Welcome, Chris.
Good evening. My name is Chris Bazans, and I've been a teacher. I've been teaching social studies at Wayzata West for the past 32 years. I know I look very youthful, but I'm one of the few middle school teachers in the district that actually taught when the building was a junior high. In my 32 years, I can tell you that I've had hundreds of hours of training, and the concept of best practice has always been the lifeblood of these sessions. In fact, we moved to the middle school structure in the late 90s because this design exemplified best practice, and it became clear to everyone right away that this was an amazing way to teach and learn. If you look at the standardized test scores, there can be no debate that Wayzata Schools has prospered greatly from the middle school system. I love being a middle school teacher. It's an amazing time to catch someone in their development. The problem I'm encountering is that for the first time in my career, I'm feeling like I'm not living up to the high Wayzata standards. Dr. John Hattie, a well-regarded educational researcher, identified teacher-student relationships and feedback as the 2 most powerful factors impacting student achievement. This year, I've gone from 120 to 180 students. I have substantially less prep time, and the amount of minutes I spend with a given student has been reduced by 25% each month. This infringes on my ability to build meaningful relationships with students at an often vulnerable time in their development and makes providing timely academic feedback challenging. I've also lost the support of a well-functioning team who share the same students as me. Young adolescents flourish within the team structure, knowing that this is a common group of adults who care for them and are working to challenge their strengths and support their individual needs. Parents also benefit from streamlined communication that true teams afford. In a junior high setting, teachers are more siloed, making it difficult to collaborate to provide meaningful enrichment and remediation. There's been attempts to try to keep middle school alive with words like teams and professional learning communities, but these are systems that are not functioning at the same level as before. If you ask any middle-level teacher, they will tell you, we don't have true teams. As for subject matter PLCs, they do exist, but our time is so taxed that it is extremely difficult to perform at high level. And if you teach multiple grade levels, which many teachers do, it's almost impossible to find common time to collaborate on best practice. In closing, I will leave you with this analogy. We've been a 5-star restaurant for over 25 years. However, this current year, we have been serving substandard meals to our customers. If things continue, how long do you think we'll hold on to that 5-star rating? The high school found creative ways to hold on to their block system. I believe that there are creative solutions to save middle school as well. I ask you to join me in finding those solutions. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Next we have Sally Ditzenbach. Sally.
As you know, my name is Sally Dietzenbach, and I'm a teacher at East Middle School. Today, I'd like to express my concerns once again over the negative impact that this middle school schedule has on all stakeholders, specifically how it negatively affects behavior management in our schools. The middle school model that we used to follow was excellent in allowing teachers and administrators to prevent negative behaviors and encourage positive behaviors, also known as PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. Teachers were able to work together in teams and PLCs to plan and implement high-quality instruction, student expectations, and a consistent plan for responding to behaviors. And it worked. Over the past school year, the new middle school schedule has completely taken away all of our systems for being able to respond appropriately and efficiently to student behaviors using this best practice PBIS model. When the new schedule was proposed, many of the issues that were easily foreseen by such a drastic change in the schedule were overlooked, and teacher feedback was often not taken into consideration. We were told by building and district admin to give the new schedule a chance and wait and see if it worked. Well, after a full school year of implementation, I can tell you with confidence that it has not. Student learning is much less rigorous, behaviors have become out of control, student support systems have disappeared, and teachers are quite honestly miserable. We are being asked to do things that are not humanly possible in order to fix all of the problems that have been created by this new schedule. We are not able to provide the same level of high-quality instruction that we used to. We're not given the tools to manage student behaviors. And more often than not, we feel blamed for those breakdowns in the system that we have no control over. Who is holding the district accountable for this? Last month, I expressed concern that the district wasn't valuing teacher feedback. After that meeting, Superintendent Anderson did reach out to me and met with me. It felt great to be listened to, but I am unaware of any changes that came about as a result of my concerns. It's not enough to simply listen to our district stakeholders. We need to be responsive to them as well. In my classroom, if a student shares a concern about my curriculums, my methods, my expectations, I'm expected to respond either by explaining my rationale behind it and giving the data that supports my rationale. On occasion, there have been times where I've realized maybe the way I'm doing things isn't really best practice or isn't supported by data. And in those cases, I've communicated with those students in a timely manner what my plans were for improving my systems in the future. If the district expects this type of constant self-evaluation and communication from its teachers, shouldn't we be able to expect the same from them? All of the data on best practice at the middle school level supports what our middle school teachers have been asking for, a return to our old schedule. The only reason we've been given for not returning to middle school model is cost. I understand that budget is a constraint, but our stakeholders deserve to see the data that supports this. After a full school year of this new schedule, how much did the district save as opposed to last year? The district should be able to give us a number. Let the district stakeholders decide if they think that the decrease in student and teacher experience was worth the cost savings. We all deserve that transparency. As teachers, we don't have the ability to hold administrators accountable. We are not provided an opportunity to evaluate them in any way. The only things that we can do is speak up, reach out to those of you who do have the ability, and vote for our elected leaders. I will never stop doing everything that I can to stand up for what's best for my students. I have emailed each of you prior to this meeting offering to share my concerns with you more directly, and I hope you will take me up on that offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, administrative reports and recommendation. We'll start with policy approvals, which Dr. Anderson will present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. As you know, you have a number of policies that are in your board packet for review this evening. I would like to preface my comments as a reminder to viewers and listeners that we do have a board policy committee that convenes monthly and covers a wide range of our policies. We do have a review process, so a certain number of policies are reviewed and updated if necessary, or just given a new review date. Or in our board packet this evening, and these have all been reviewed at a recent board policy committee meeting, are policy 606, instructional arrangements -- class size, 608, literacy and the READ Act, 626 non-public student participation, 631 technology acceptable use and safety, 914 relations with community organizations, and 915 relations with religious organizations. The recommended action this evening is to approve the above policies as presented in the board packet attachments. I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. So board colleagues, the recommended action again is to approve the board policies as presented. Do I have a motion to approve?
I so move, and given that these are all updates and none of them are new, I move to waive the second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there a discussion? Hearing none. This is a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Anderson, and thank you to the policy committee. The next item on the agenda for admin reports is teaching and learning, and actually there are no teaching and learning reports this evening, sorry. Moving on, we have financial reports and presented by, it was supposed to have been presented by Director of Finance, David Draskowicz. He could not be here this evening, so Dr. Anderson will first present the combined financial report ending on March 31st, 2025. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. There's a series of documents in your board packet that I'm sure look quite familiar to you at this point. It's a summary financial report where there's narrative included there about statement of revenues and statement of expenditures. And then there is a running total or a summary both for revenues and expenditures. The part of this document that I've always most appreciated are the three columns to the far right. And I think the comparisons between 3 fiscal years is always a good way to determine where are we at currently and how are we doing with the current school year. And if those numbers approximate each other, that's generally a trend in the direction that you would look for. However, there are variances with that, and from year to year, there can be some differences, and particularly in some of the funds, for example, capital funds and construction funds, where revenues come in at varied rates, and also expenditures are paid out according to when work becomes completed. So there can be some variance, but if you look at the revenues at the bottom line, the total of all revenues of funds, you can see that we're within about within a point of those 3 fiscal years, which I think should bring the board some peace of mind, so to speak, that we're on track for the current set of revenues coming in. And then looking at the next document, I would point out to the same 3 numbers at the bottom of those 3 fiscal year columns. And again, we're within 3 percentage points or so of the range there as well. So I think the statements of revenues and expenditures are in good order. And again, this is in that format that I think you're very familiar with. There is no action on that particular item. Those are provided to you as updates as to where we're at with current revenue and expenditures for this fiscal year.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Any questions, comments, colleagues? Dr. Anderson may know all the answers, but, but knowing that he's so good with everything, you may, but if you don't, then you have indicated that you'll ask David to respond.
Yep, I may have responses if you do have any questions, and I won't be shy to say I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one.
Thank you. So, any questions, comments? I have 2, Dr. Anderson. Maybe David can answer this, but they're both kind of related. One is for the revenue and one is for the expenses. For the revenue, on the revenue side, the federal aid, are we on track to get them at the budgeted level? Because we are obviously not there yet, but do you think that we are on track? And also on the flip side, on the expenses, are we on track to have the, what is that? Was that other income, other expense or something? I believe there was a big variance in the budgeted versus actual. So I'm just wondering if we will eventually get there to the budgeted levels.
Yeah, I can see what you're pointing out here. I think with the federal aids, and again, I'd probably have to reach out and get some more clarity, but I'm thinking that might be because of the tail end of the COVID dollars that were coming in from federal sources. So that may present as a bit of an anomaly as to where we're at currently. The primary sources of revenue that we get from the federal government is primarily in the form of special services, and in more recent times, the special COVID aid. I've sort of forgotten some of the acronyms that we knew verbatim back in those days, but ESSER dollars, and I think there was one other area where over a 4-year period we received about $11 million total. And then it was dispersed over that 4-year period. So I would guess some of the variance is related to that, because the revenues for those ESSER dollars have sunset and are no longer coming in. But I can try to get some more clarity on that for you.
Thank you.
And then in regard to other expenditures, I would say, my best response here, and again, I'll seek more clarity on that, but the term it's other itself sort of suggests kind of things that don't fit neatly in a major category. And I would guess that could vary pretty widely from year to year in what's dispersed and based on the allocations for those, or there could be some summer work that's going to be going to be completed, that some of those expenditures may be coming from that too, since it's coupled up with the near the capital expenditure. There may be some peripheral expenditures that are related to that as well. But I'll seek some clarity on both of those and get back to the board.
And then one last question on slide 3. The total expense, I'm assuming, includes the LTFM?
I'm not sure I know exactly.
$250 million or something like that on the expense side. The next slide, Amy. This one here, yeah. Yes, $270 million. That includes, does it include LTFM?
I'm still looking which line you're looking at.
The expenditures last line here.
Oh, the 270?
270, because that's more than about $6 million over the.
Yeah, it looks, it's a sum total of that full column. So whatever would be listed there would be included in that summary at the bottom.
My guess is LTFM is.
I believe LTFM would be inclusive in that as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Sure.
Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. We have, again, you continue with the recommendation of the approval of the LTFM for the Intermediate School District 287.
I'd be happy to, Mr. Chair and members of the board. This is an annual board action item. We're a member of the Intermediate School District 287, and they, I believe this is a relatively newer legislative change that occurred, I don't know, within the last 5 to 10 years, I believe, where intermediate districts are able to receive long-term facilities maintenance from member districts. And we're a member district of District 287. And because they, in and of themselves, are not able to levy for LTFM dollars, the member school districts do that on their behalf. I believe it's prorated according to either district population or student enrollment population within the K-12 programming. And I'll share the narrative that's included here, and then include the recommended action. There is quite a lot of detail information in here, so not only for the board, but for any of our listeners who may want to learn more about this. There is, I think, some good background information. Again, this is reflective of what we've done in years past, and appears to be in good order to me. But I'll share the following. The 2015 legislative session, there's the answer right there that I was searching for before, established the long-term facilities maintenance revenue program for school districts, replacing the health and safety revenue, deferred maintenance revenue, and alternative facilities bonding and levy programs beginning with fiscal year 2017. Annually, Intermediate School District 287 must have a 10-year capital plan adopted by its board and each member district's school board. Intermediate School District 287 approves the levy a year in advance to accommodate several of its member districts who levy a year in advance. The recommended action is to approve the Intermediate School District 287's long-term facilities maintenance capital expenditure plan for fiscal years 2027 through 2036, and adopt the resolution affirming Wayzata Public Schools' portion of these expenditures for fiscal year 27 in the amount of $180,147.11. And that's the recommended action. I don't have anything additional to add to that. I would suggest that either through, we have a current board rep, Dan is on 287 board now. I know Sarah has been on that in the past, and I don't know if others have been or not. But they might, I don't know if they have anything else to share now, or they can do that call for
Discussion.
Discussion.
Yes.
Your choice.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. I think I will just read the recommended action again is to approve Intermediate School District 287's long-term facilities maintenance capital expenditure plan for fiscal years 2027 through 2036 and adopt the resolution affirming Wayzata Public Schools portion of the fiscal year 2026-2027 expenditures in the amount of $180,147.11. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Now we can have a discussion. Like Dr. Anderson said, Director Genestra is a representative of ISD 284 on ISD 287. So thank you for your service on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Mr. Chair, I did want to, just for a moment, take a sec to thank our Executive Director of Financial Services, Brian Schultz, and his team for putting this together. It's a very thorough process of, really making sure that we're dividing the responsibility of funding 287's needs equitably across the member districts. So this is about consistency in taxation for our taxpayers so that we can really provide for our long-term facilities maintenance needs that provide a whole host of services to our students. So I'm grateful to their work. I'm grateful to the work of our 287 school board and all of our member districts. So with that, I express my gratitude and look forward to approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. So, I'm sorry, go ahead. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. So, Chase, I don't know if you will have the answer to this specific question, but I am actually, this is just something that I need to know as a learning thing. So we are in the process of approving that amount. So I don't know how many members there are. 12 members. How much each one contributes, and what the total LTFM amount comes to. Just curious if you have that number or.
I think a ballpark number, and I can't remember where I saw this, but in something I read today, I think it's around $1 million. They use those funds for the same things our school district does for roofs, sidewalks, upgrades, improvements. They have facility needs, just like their member districts do. I can't really speak to the relative amount we pay compared to other districts, but it's formalized according to, it may be one of our current or our former board members might have the answer for that, but I think it's based on total number of students in the district, if I recall correctly, and their revenues are generated off of that formula.
Thank you for that. Any other question? Yes.
Yeah, just to take that moment for a second, I do appreciate the question. So just to read the second bullet point from the talking points document that was uploaded to Board Book for those interested. Since intermediate districts do not have a dollar limit in statute, District 287 and BDAC have agreed to maintain a stable levy amount approximately $6.2 million between our combined LTFM levy and lease levy as a limit. So essentially there is a ceiling that's covered, and districts and their membership, levy to that maximum. So
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dan. I appreciate that. There are no other questions. I'm going to read the recommended action again is to approve Intermediate School District 287's long-term facilities maintenance capital expenditure plan for fiscal years 2027 through 2036 and adopt the resolution of affirming Wayzata Public Schools portion of the fiscal year 2026-27 expenditures in the amount of $180,147.11. This will be a roll call vote.
Sheila Pryor, yes. Heidi Cater,
Yes.
Valentina Ayers,
Yes.
Dan Genestra,
Yes.
Sarah Johansson,
Yes.
Aris Bende is absent, Milan Sahoni.
Yes, the motion passes. Thank you, Sheila. And then finally, Dr. Anderson will recommend the approval of the other post-employment benefits investment policy statement.
Mr. Chair and members of the board, included in your board packet is as stated, the approval or reaffirmation of our OPEB investment policy statement and the appointment of OPEB committee members. OPEB is an acronym for a name of a program of other post-employment benefits, and this has really been a tremendous aspect of our school district, which started, I don't know, about the time shortly after I came here, I think 15 to 16 years ago. And it has served the district's needs beautifully. And just sort of in sum, what it does is it funds our post-employment benefits to a point of minimizing any impact on our general fund. And for districts that don't have an OPEB or funded at the level that we are, those dollars come out of the general fund. So we're very fortunate that there was great foresight by a lot of financially minded residents in the community who work closely with financial advisors, which I'll outline a little bit in the narrative that I'll read. So without elaborating further, I will just share the following. Keep in mind, this is not a new policy. Changes to it. It's an affirmation of the one that's in place. It served us well. And in a recent review, we didn't see a need to make any changes for the current time. So I'll share the following. The Other Post-Employment Benefits, or OPEB Committee, utilizes an investment policy statement to guide their investment strategies. The OPEB Committee, along with the assistance of an investment advisor, invests funds placed in the irrevocable trust for post-employment pension obligations. On an annual basis, the school board is requested to review the policy statement and reaffirm their guidance to this committee. The OPEB committee is currently comprised of members of the Finance Subcommittee of the school board, 2 members of the Citizens Finance Advisory Council, better known as CFAC, Wayzata Education Association president, and the district administration members. Also in attendance at committee meetings are representatives from the school board appointed investment advisor, PFM Asset Management, a wholly owned subsidiary of the U.S. Bank. And the recommended action is before you this evening. Mr. Chair, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. So, colleagues, the recommended action is to reaffirm the attached investment policy statement to be used as guidance for OPEB investment strategies. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Is there a discussion?
I just want to say thank you to our OPEB committee. We have long-term members who I think were instrumental in even setting up this committee that meet with us. The members of the CFAC as a whole have at times also participated in sort of the quarterly reviews of the investment. And although this is a policy that's reviewed on an annual basis for an affirmation, especially the investment guidelines part that you see in are of top of mind always, and our decision to move this policy forward was really an informed discussion that identified that this was serving us well and giving us flexibility to be fiscally responsible and meet the needs of each of our employees, which is of utmost importance. So thanks to our team.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Okay. No other questions. The recommended action again is to reaffirm the attached investment policy statement to be used as guidance for OPEB investment strategies. This is a roll call vote again.
Paris Bende is absent. Sheila Pryor, yes. Heidi Cater,
yes.
Valentina Ayers,
Yes.
Dan Ginestra,
Yes.
Sarah Johansson,
yes.
Milan Sahoni.
Yes, the motion passes. Thank you, Sheila. There are no human resources reports tonight, and no other board action as well. Final item on the agenda is board reports. This section of the agenda provides an opportunity for board members to update school board members on school board related work or to make announcements of interest to the public. We have 3 board reports tonight. Dan Ginestra will first talk about the Get on the Bus event. Director Ginestra.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Recently, board members of 287 had the terrific opportunity of being able to get on the bus and visit Oakview Elementary, which is an Osseo Public Schools and home to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. So I'm going to read a little excerpt. Since our visit did hit, very close to home in terms of, individual student experiences, I'll be reading from, pre-written language that went out in our board report. This week, some of our school board members visited the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program at Oakview Elementary. During their visit, they observed a teacher leading a social-emotional learning lesson on kindness with third-grade students and a speech-language pathologist working one-on-one with a first-grade student on verbs ending in ing. The board members had the opportunity to extend a warm welcome to the students by greeting them, sharing their names, and creating connections with the students in sign language. Our gratitude to Dr. Lamb and her team for the opportunity to move into spaces with deaf and hard of hearing students. Our gratitude to District 287. It was a joyous visit, getting to learn sign language and really communicate and engage with students who have a different student experience than many others. So thank you for making this possible, and we look forward to future Get on the Bus opportunities with 287. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dan. Next, we have Director Kader talking about Teacher Appreciation Week from last week.
Yes, so
Okay,
board
thank you.
colleagues and school community, as you may know, last week was Teacher Appreciation Week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. PTOs and PTAs across the district spent lovely expressions of appreciation and care for our educators. Wayzata Public Schools is a really special place to be because of the caliber, commitment, and the intentionality of our teachers and staff. Teachers, on behalf of this board, thank you for showing up every day. Our mission is excellence for each and every student, and you bring that to life each day in the way that you show up, in your desire to continuously be learning yourselves, and in how you elevate our kids. I hope you feel as appreciated as you truly deserve.
Thank you, Heidi. Okay, and then the final report I will give on 3 events that I attended in the last couple of weeks. The first one was the 5th Annual Career and Technical Education, also known as CTE Showcase, which was held on April 25th at the high school gym. High school students were invited to explore career options. About 100 community partners, businesses, and schools were there. Students learned about different career paths by visiting their tables and talking to professionals. Major employers included Mayo Clinic and MnDOT. Many colleges and trade schools were in attendance as well. Director Ginestra was with me at the showcase. The second event I attended was the Wayzata Family Literacy Night, which was held on April 28th at the Central Middle School. Wayzata Family Literacy Night is an opportunity to empower our community around literacy. It aims to rekindle the love for reading and provide more opportunities for all. In addition to a room full of free books donated by the Hennepin County Library, activities and events included food, music, games, a storyteller, educational literacy sessions, community resources, and more. And I was again accompanied by Director Ginestra at this event as well. I just want to share a very quick, heartwarming story. As I said, there was a room full of books donated by Hennepin County Library, and I was looking for a Pokemon book because my grandson, he thinks he's a reincarnation of Pokemon or something like that. I could not find one. But before the meeting, Rachel Falkowski brought me this book on Pokemon from the organizer of the event, Jody. And I am so indebted to Jody that we are seeing our grandkids in about 3 weeks, and he will love this thing. So thank you so much. This is how we work together. So thank you so much again. The Senior Awards Night was held in the high school auditorium on May 5th. Each year, through the granting of a scholarship, dozens of Wayzata high school students are assisted in their quest for higher knowledge and education. These scholarships are possible due to the continued generosity of community businesses, foundations, organizations, and families. Board Director Ginestra, Director Johansson, and Director Kader were present during the ceremony. Okay, so before I announce the adjournment of the meeting, I want to make a little statement related to our last meeting. So I really felt bad after that meeting because of what I had done. So I want to take a moment to apologize for my disruptive tone and occasional loss of focus on our discussion at the last meeting. I remain committed to respectful dialogue and a collaborative environment, and I regret that my reaction may have detracted from that. Moving forward, I will work to express concerns more constructively, and I hope we can all continue to hold each other to standards of professionalism and mutual respect. We will also put in place corrective actions for some procedural shortcomings that were realized at the meeting. All right, so that concludes our meeting, and I believe our next meeting is the work session. It is not 2 weeks from today, actually, it's next week, because the 2 weeks from today is Memorial Day. And so our next board work session is a week from today on Monday, May 19th. This concludes the Wayzata Public Schools regular board meeting for Monday, May 12th, 2025. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The time is now 8:25. The Wayzata Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, May 12th, 2025 is adjourned.